Right now on ABC 10 News at 4 o'clock, the damage left behind by yesterday's powerful wind gusts around the county. Plus, how California plans to simplify the process of getting a COVID-19 vaccine. And restaurants rushing to reopen their doors for outside dining and welcome back their customers now that the stay-at-home order is lifted.
ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
Today, lots of damage left behind from the winter storm's intense winds. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kimberly Hunt. Well, trees toppled over, tents were blown away, and equipment was destroyed. ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer Kastner is at a gym in Liberty Station where the weather did major damage.
Here at the Point Loma Sports Club, the tent behind me is barely still standing. The poles were knocked over. There's caution tape wrapped all around it. The fencing behind it also knocked over. But what they did was they took all of the fitness equipment out from under the tent, put it right next to it. You can see it's not stopping anyone from working out today.
So we've got a couple pieces that are damaged, a couple machines.
Tuesday, Point Loma Sports Club General Manager Brian Welch gave ABC 10 News a tour of the major mess caused by the dangerously high winds.
Last night, the tent originally started here, and the wind carried it kind of over some of our equipment, I would say a good 40 feet.
Welch said outdoor workout classes will not be interrupted by the cleanup efforts. At Redford's Diner in North Park, crews spent the morning clearing out debris. Outdoor heaters were knocked over and tents torn down. The owner said it'll set him back by about $7,000. Winds were howling overnight. Several trees toppled over, including a palm in South Park that landed on 3 parked cars. And in Kensington, workers cleared the road after a 40-foot palm crashed on a car. In both cases, no one was injured. Lots of headaches around the county, but Welch at the sports club said he's committed to staying positive despite the damage.
And this is just a setback. This is like if you get knocked down, you got to get back up.
And the general manager told ABC 10 News they hope to have everything back up and running like before within the next couple of days. Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
A high surf advisory is also in effect right now. This is video of the strong waves earlier today. This is Wind & Sea Beach in La Jolla. Meteorologist Angelica Campos is tracking this advisory as well as another storm coming our way. Angelica.
Hi, Kim. That's right. Our high surf advisory remains in effect. The waves could be anywhere from 4 to 7 feet, so I'll show you what this is actually doing out there. It is actually averaging higher than that, 6 to 9 feet. Over the next couple of hours, it'll range from 4 to 7, and then it should lower between 3 and 5 feet overnight and into tomorrow. We are definitely looking better around the county as our latest storm system now moves into the southern plains, but another one is already knocking on the door as it moves just south of the Bay Area. We'll begin to see that chance for showers most likely Thursday into Friday. Some of our snow totals from the latest storm system averaging at 14 inches in Mount Laguna. Even Pine Valley reporting 7 inches. So an impressive storm. Glad it's moving out. I'll show you what to expect with the next one in our 7-day forecast.
We will see you then. You can also keep track of the weather in your area with our ABC 10 News mobile app. Coming up at 4:30, the icy conditions leading into our mountain communities. You want to see that. And the storm caused a lot of damage at the COVID-19 Vaccine Superstation downtown, forcing the county to keep it closed for one more day. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell shows us what the county is doing to get it back up and running.
The county now has a better idea of what needs to be fixed at the Vaccination Superstation. Crews have been working since early Tuesday morning to get the repairs done. From the ground, you could see crews working to stabilize tents. The wind was so strong it knocked several white tents over. Sky 10 flew above the Padres parking lot, giving us a look at the work ahead. The Vaccine Superstation remained closed Tuesday. The county shut it down yesterday because of the unsafe conditions caused by the weather. This closure canceled 4,000 appointments. All had to be rescheduled for Thursday. Among those canceled was Steve Yee. He was notified by email. He can't make it Thursday and was hoping the site would be open today.
It's fine. I understand that. But I just want to get it done and taken care of.
A spokesperson for UC San Diego Health says if a person can't make their rescheduled appointment time, they can make a new one. We're also told they were able to shift all of the canceled appointments to Thursday without having to cancel any further appointments. The county hopes to reopen the Superstation tomorrow. Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
And coming up at 5 o'clock, we talked to UCSD health officials about the system that they have to ensure the new appointment times are set up properly. California continues to simplify the process for getting a COVID-19 vaccine. Today, state health department officials announced they're considering moving to a third-party administrator to handle the vaccines. Once a company is picked, it will be in charge of allocating vaccines to providers, including pharmacies, hospitals, pop-up sites, and more. Coming up new at 5 o'clock, a look at how the state will start prioritizing vaccines based on age instead of line of work. And within the last few hours, President Biden announced plans to ramp up vaccine distribution in the country. He said the U.S. is buying 200 million more of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, which are on track to be delivered to the federal government this summer. He also announced that weekly vaccination distribution to states will increase from just over 8.5 million doses to 10 million doses. Those will be distributed to states based on population. The president is aiming for 1.5 million shots a day, but says it will take some time.
A COVID variant from Brazil has made its way to the U.S. Minnesota health officials say the infected person lives in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. The person recently traveled to Brazil. They became sick in the first week of January. Right now, it does not appear the variant from Brazil is spreading in Minnesota. We have been seeing more people wearing 2 masks recently. In these pictures, you can see they have on an N95 or KN95 mask with a cloth mask on top of it.
What you're seeing is people covering their N95 to protect it so that it doesn't get contaminated and so that they can reuse it over and over again.
Dr. Shira Doron is an infectious disease physician at Tufts Medical Center. She says this is happening because the N95 masks are expensive and still in very short supply. She says even hospitals are still having a hard time getting them. Dr. Anthony Fauci has come out now saying that wearing 2 masks is likely more effective to stop the spread of COVID-19. He told NBC News today in an interview, if you have a physical covering with 1 layer and you put another layer on it, it just makes sense. It likely would be more effective. Dr. Doron emphasizes the layer part Dr. Fauci is talking about.
It's not about the number of masks, it's about the number of layers. And so sure, if your first mask that you're wearing is literally 1 thin layer, that's not good enough. And so you could put another thin layered mask on top, or you could just wear a mask that actually has 2 and ideally 3 layers.
She says the fit is a big difference between a cloth or medical mask and an N95.
One thing you could do is put another mask over it to if that other mask fits in a different way that helps the first mask kind of, achieve that tightness, reduce those gaps.
Adjusting the ear loops is another thing that you could do to make your masks tighter. She says the new COVID-19 variants that we're seeing don't mean we need to be doing new things, but following the same public health measures that we know work with more caution. The CDC currently says you should wear a mask that has 2 or more layers of fabric that fits snugly over your nose and mouth. It is not recommended double masking. Dr. Doron says right now the supply chain can't support a recommendation for the public to use any kind of medical grade PPE.
More relief for San Diego renters and businesses struggling to pay rent due to the pandemic. The San Diego City Council approved Mayor Gloria's proposal to extend eviction protections through June 30th. And last week, the mayor announced the city received $42 million in federal funding to provide financial assistance. The funds will be distributed through the San Diego Housing Commission. The city has not yet released details on eligibility and the application process. We have breaking news. The senator overseeing the impeachment trial of former President Trump is now in the hospital. A spokesperson says Patrick Leahy wasn't feeling well when he got back to his office after presiding over today's events. A doctor checked him out and recommended that Leahy go to the hospital for observation. The Vermont senator is the longest-serving Democrat.
Let's start the news feed. Moderna says it will deliver 100 million doses of its coronavirus vaccine to the U.S. government by the end of March, 200 million by the end of June. That is a huge boost compared to the 30 million it has delivered so far. Meantime, Pfizer CEO saying today it will supply the U.S. 200 million doses by the end of May. That is 2 months sooner than expected. Vaccines will play a big role in our economic recovery. The International Monetary Fund is forecasting a boost in the global economy in 2021 with hope that the vaccine will help stop the spread. 2020 was the worst year for the global economy since World War II. Well, an antibody cocktail can help prevent COVID-19 from spreading, according to the company behind it. Regeneron says its treatment was effective in preventing the virus in people exposed to those already infected. This is based on a study with about 400 people.